Hey there guys, this is Reckles with WTBGold, and I'm pretty sure the TradeSkillMaster developers all main warlocks, because only through the power of dark magic could they have come up with such an amazing and groundbreaking revamp to TradeSkillMaster. So let's get into it and show you guys some of the cool stuff you can do. Okay, so TSM 4.10 isn't a full ground-up revamp of the add-on, but it might as well be. And for anyone who's new to TradeSkillMaster and doesn't know what it does, let's just do a little bit of a recap, a little baby recap. So essentially, TradeSkillMaster uses groups and operations in order to automate not just the auction house, and it doesn't really automate gold making. It automates the personalized decisions that you make at every step of the gold making process, and those decisions are called operations. So for instance, let's say you have alchemy and leatherworking. Well, for alchemy, you would restock 200 of every flask and potion. So we would change our max restock quantity to 200. And there we go. So then this would be for alchemy. And then, but it would be silly to restock 200 of every leatherworking item. So we'd make a new operation for leatherworking and change the max restock quantity to 1. So we just make 1 of every armor piece and 200 of every flask and potion. The operation is the decision, and then you just have to tell it where you want these decisions sent to. So we're going to make 2 groups, one called alchemy and one called leatherworking, and we put in the things that we want to craft into leatherworking, and we put the things in alchemy that belong to alchemy, and then we apply the crafting operation here, and there we go. You have your TSM set up. The thing is, it gets complicated when, let's say, you have current content leatherworking, and you have old content leatherworking. Maybe you sell these on different posting tunes. So if you sell these on different posting tunes, well, then you want to automate the mailing to a different posting tune. So we'd have to create a new posting tune 2 and posting tune 1. And so just like that, we have 4 different operations tied to essentially 3 groups. So that's it. You have decisions called operations and the items those decisions apply to that you can group together. The only reason things get complicated is because your decisions are complicated. For instance, let's say I also restock drums. Well, with drums, I make and post 200 at a time. So this is actually using the same decision as alchemy. So we can put these in this group, and then it's not really alchemy anymore. It's more restock to 200. But then it gets even more complicated when, let's say, there's drums of the mountain and drums of fury. So with Drums of the Mountain, I just restock normally, but with Drums of the Fury, I do Mythic Plus. So I want to keep 20 in my bags at all time. So with 20 in my bags and 20 on the auction house, that's actually restocking to 200, which means we need to override the crafting operation. And we want to make this 200. And then also, rather than just mailing it off to the posting tune, we want to mail it off, but keep 20. So keep this amount 20. There we go. And then we apply this to the thing. And so you can see very quickly how complicated when you start to account for all the different decisions you make in your day-to-day gold making. If you want to automate them, it gets hard. Well, the changes made to TSM 4.10 allow us to fix a lot of that. So first off, It's prettier. It looks a little bit more professional. As you can see, the edges still have a little bit of a bevel, but it's not like this bubbly add-on. You can also see that the gold and sales summary have been updated and improved. So I want to show you something really cool that you can do with this. Not only can you look through and see everything, but let's drill down into this bit right here. You can drill down, there's a little zoom reset, all sorts of cool stuff. You can select which characters and guilds. But one of my favorite little things is here it's green. When you hover over it, it's blue to let you know that you're looking at specifics. But if you select a bit that you lost gold on, it's red. So if you made gold, it's green. If you lost gold, it's red. And that just gives you kind of that instant feedback of like, hey, you messed up, you lost a thing. And it can maybe the red will inspire you to get back in the green. Maybe hashtag back in the green will start rolling. So one of the problems with TSM for a long time was that you had to actually be on the character who knew how to craft that item in order to add it to TSM groups. Now you could go on Wowhead and copy entire pages and then paste that into the group maker on the website, and then that would give you an importable list. So that was super duper fancy and really cool. But with TSM 4, they added a base group. The base group just includes the entire World of Warcraft database, so you can just post from the base group. So you can post one or two of each item from the base group, and that simplified everything, but you couldn't search it. Well, now we can actually go in and say greater flask, and the base group is searchable, and then you can apply that to a specific group, select group, add 4 items, and then when we go to the restock to 200 group, formerly the alchemy group, there we go. We have it in. So you can, from one character, build out your entire profile without swapping all around and forgetting what you were doing and getting sidetracked by having to restock on that profession and, oh, you had to run the raid. You can just set up your TSM profile in one sitting. That's so good. But I'm so excited about this. Here's something I've been but my favorite thing I'm so excited about. I've been waiting for this for so long. We don't need groups anymore. Okay. We still need groups, but all right. So let's make a crafting operation and call this everything. So minimum restock 0. For the longest time, this field just supported integers. The max restock quantity just supported all the quantity fields. You could only put a number in there. Well, if greater than DB regions sold per day, if it's greater than 100, if it sells more than 100 of an item in a day, well then maybe I want to restock to 200. Otherwise, I only want to make one of them. Enter. It works! It works! This means this includes this decision. This includes this decision. So we can use this logic function, and we can even make it, let's make it even more fancy. Rather than just, let's say if greater than DB region sold per day 10, then I want to make 20, otherwise 1, close bracket, enter. There we go. Also, I don't know if y'all could tell, but check this out. Check this out. Oh no, my parens are imbalanced, so it's automatically highlighting the field red to show that something is wrong with this and you can't hit enter on it yet. So here we go. We close the parentheses and then we're good. That's super cool. Anyone who's ever like typed out a full thing and forgot what they typed and then hit enter and it just like took it back to 1. Like, no, it's infuriating. But here, what this does, if something sells a lot, then you want to make 200 of it. If it sells kind of a medium amount per month, or per day, then you only want to make 20 of it. So maybe potions, you make 200, flasks, you only make 20, armor, crafted mounts, things like that. You only want to put 1 up on the auction house at a time. This you can apply to everything. So now you can put all of this stuff in one group and you don't even like it's so, Okay, I'm too excited. I need to calm down. You still have the complication of minimum profit. What's your minimum profit going to be? Now, that of course is going to change, but we can do the same basic thing in here. If the sold per day is greater than 100, then maybe we only want 1 gold profit. If the sold per day is greater than 10, then we want 100 gold plus 10% crafting. If it's less than that, then we want 1,000 gold plus 20% crafting. Something like that. There we go. We just fixed it. This now applies rudimental. It works. I'm so excited. Look, I know this doesn't look simpler than just typing 20 in this field or 100 gold in this field and just making a bunch of, but like the fact that we can just have one crafting operation means we don't need any of these groups. We can just apply this crafting operation to everything. And there we go. This is our profile. Now, it's going to depend, like, okay, you still need things for mailing operations, but crafting operations are kind of just lumped in if you really solidify and figure out what your crafting operation is. Now, how else can we use this? Shopping. So let's look at shopping. Maximum restock quantity. How many, let's say you're flipping things, how many do you want to buy? Well, like 7 days worth. So you could do 7 times DB region sold per day. And that would give you how many the average server buys. And maybe you're on a high pop server, so you multiply that by 2, but then you want to look at how many you could reasonably expect to sell. Here's another cool thing that they changed. The source that has to do with competition is DB sale rate. Actually, no, wait, what is it? Wait, hold on. TSM sources. So the source that applies to competition is DB region sale rate. And there we go. So let's put numbers to this to just make it make sense. If you're flipping flasks, then maybe the average server buys 100 a day. So in 7 days, they'd buy 700. But you're on a pretty high pop server, so it would actually buy 1,400. But there's a lot of competition, so you could only reasonably expect to sell 10% of the auction house demand. So 1,400 times 10% is 140. Now, another cool thing they just added, let me find this. They added in sale rate, which is different from DB region sale rate. This is under your accounting tab. So this isn't the regional sale rate of this item. This is your personal sale rate of the item. So we'd say first sale rate, and then DB region sale rate. And because the field's red, luckily we know not to hit enter. So there we go. Now, if you have been flipping, then you have an approximate rate at which you'll sell things. But if you're new to a market, then you have kind of an estimate of how much you should buy, what the competition is through DB region sale rate. It's so cool. And this, you know what, like, so that allows you to both super customize and generalize at the same time. And here's what we used to have to type. That's all we could do, 1,000. And then if we wanted to buy something differently, we'd have to say the most I want is 2,000, and the most I want of this thing is 20. I don't want to buy any more than 20 vials of the sands. So like you just have to have a whole bunch of groups. Well, we just need one now. It's so cool. Okay. I should probably show off the actual crafting. It's very similar. The gathering and reports have been swapped around, which is good because, like, what's the process? You go into crafting, you select the groups that you want to restock, you click. Oh, you can't restock from the base group. Okay, yeah, you can't restock from the base group. So, we'll create a profession group. Bam. We have a profession group, and now we'll just restock leatherworking. Give it a second. Let it do its magic. Boom. And all the old favorites are in here. So we go to gathering. We see where things are, how many you have, how many of each thing you need. God, I gotta go. I cannot get enough burnished leather. Now, something I'd really like to see added here is having an option that says source farming, because you have your vendor, you have your guild bank, you have your alts. If you don't have enough of it, well, where do you get it? You either buy it off the auction house or you farm it up. Like, those are your two options. And for some reason, TSM is just assuming you're going to buy all the materials. With wonderful add-ons like Worth It, we know that we can evaluate materials in terms of how much gold they can make per hour. So where's wind scales? Can I search this? I can't search this. So I gotta go out and spend an hour or two out at the wind scale farm, but that's okay because wind scales sell for 1,000, 2,000 gold each. So that's like saving me 150,000 gold. That's a worth it farm. And I would like to farm up things that are over a threshold of, say, 20,000 gold per hour. Now that's like a whole branching out into a new thing. TSM 4.10 doesn't do it, and that'd be a hassle. Maybe they could do something in the meantime of just like, yeah, I want to like have a little star next to things, and like I want to do warbear leather and wind scales, and that's what I want. Oh, starring! That's one of the other cool things. So if we go back to the default non-TradeSkillMaster thing, you can go into, let's say I want to keep drums of the Maelstrom posted all the time. So I set this as my favorite. Did I say Drums of Fury earlier on in the guide? I'm sorry, everybody who that was tilting. You can set this as a favorite, and then it'll auto show up right at the start. Well, with TSM 4.10, when you swap over, it's not there. And so if you're just logging on and you have a bunch of characters, alchemists or whatever, that you're just doing transmutes or cooldowns on every day, and then you're immediately logging off, then what you can do is you can still use TSM because they have a little favorite star. So now the favorited things are right at the top. You don't have to go searching through your list for them, and hopefully that'll help you out. And task list doesn't seem to be changed much. It's still a little cumbersome when you're doing big restocks but it's still useful, but it's just a little cumbersome. Okay. Last thing. You change your appearance. Look, Dalaran. Ta-da! You can change your color. You can change it to Swamp of Sorrows, Orgrimmar, Stormwind, Jade Forest. There are some of them that are just a little like, I'd almost rather just the border be different, and have the interior have consistent legibility, rather than changing the interior colors and trying to find, because it's a big hassle when you're trying to design legible colors to have the same amount of contrast. Like, why am I talking about color theory? This is a gold making guide. All right. They fixed a lot of bugs, like the disenchanting window won't lag out. There's still some improvement. So if you have access to TSM 4.10 through the alpha or beta, put in as many bug reports as you can. Put in your recommendations. One of my additions that I can't believe they already changed. It's frustrating when unbalanced parentheses don't work, and it's been like 12 hours, and they've already said like, hey, if you have unbalanced parentheses, then make it red. That's like, they're listening, and they're trying to make this usable and functional for everyone, for everyone's mindset and approach, and they're doing a bang up job, and we can, like, it's gonna be cool. So I think with being able to put logic functions in quantity fields, I think I can finally go through and make an importable profile for y'all. Like, the reason why I haven't is because the way I think about things isn't how you think about things. But I think we can do something that works for everybody. So I'm real excited about that. It's gonna be super hype. If you don't have beta access but you want it, then TSM Premium members get priority access to the beta whenever that rolls out. So I'll put a link to my TSM Premium affiliate link down below. You also get like access to the database of as many different servers as you want, and like email notifications. You get a whole bunch of cool stuff. I'm not going to sell you on TSM Premium, but if you want priority access, there you go. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck and happy gold making, everybody. Bye.